we want to do when we get an assignment is before we even hook up to the trailer, because if something's definitely wrong, we definitely want to make sure that, wasting time here, is you want to make sure that the seal is intact and that the information, the numbers on the seal match the information that's on your dispatch. So regardless of where you're picking the freight up, our terminal, the rail, the ports, the customer, you'll have on your dispatch, you'll have a seal number. Your role is to make sure that the numbers are the same and they match. If for some reason there is a discrepancy in the information, we need to stop everything and make sure that we notify our terminal managers that there's a difference in the information in the seal numbers. So basically, what that's telling us is, hey, somebody's been in that container. We've been compromised. So it is a very good possibility that we'll have a cargo claim. So we always want to make sure you check your seal number first. After, if everything is good, go ahead and hook up and start your pre-trip inspection. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay. When you get to the customer, and the customer notifies you that you have, you're missing some freight off of there. We want to stop everything. Before we leave that customer, we want to notify our terminal managers that there's a discrepancy, that you've been told that there's freight missing out of this container. So here's how this needs to happen. So when we get, let's say, for instance, we get sent to the rail yard to pick up a trailer. Okay. When we get to the trailer, first thing we want to do is make sure that we have the correct trailer. Do a quick walk around, make sure we go in the back of the trailer, make sure it has a seal. The seal numbers match. Then we're going to hook up to the trailer. We're going to conduct our pre-trip inspection. We're going to update our ELD with the information of the trailer and that we've conducted the pre-trip inspection. And then we're going to go to our customer. Okay. So once we get to the customer, before we bump any docks and break any seals, they have to acknowledge that the seal is on the container, is intact, and they match. So they're going to sign your paperwork. Okay, I'm accepting this freight. Okay, then we're going to bump the dock. Okay. When they notify you that there's freight missing, we're going to stop everything, notify our terminal managers. And so our conversation with them is going to be like this. Hey, Mr. Customer, our driver picked up the freight at the rail yard. Here's the outgate for that. Took it directly to your facility. Your folks on the ground identified that and accepted the freight. Here's the signature that they provided to the driver that the seal was intact and everything was good to go, and they accepted the freight. Pump the dock, they unloaded, freight's missing. Our conversation with them is, there's no claim for you here to file. We didn't load the container. You may want to contact your customer that loaded the container. Okay. All of that means nothing if I don't have documentation, outgate, signed signatures, and whatnot, in order for us to have that conversation. Okay. So super important that all of the documents that you generate, you hang on to that. Okay. That's how we're going to, either accept or reject a claim. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay. All of our equipment is in our stored in our secured facility at all times. At no time are you allowed to take it to leave it at the truck stops, leave it inside the road, your own personal yards or whatever. It's in our secured facility at all times. If for some reason it gets damaged or stolen, it gets damaged or stolen from us, not you. Okay. So make sure that we, secure the equipment here, and so that we avoid any additional issues. Parking. You are free to park your personal vehicle and tractor here at our secure facility at no cost to you. Okay. So we have designated parking spots. When we get down here, we'll identify those for you.
So we can park available.
We'll go over that with you when we get done here. settlements. So, when you're generating paperwork, before you leave that customer, after you get offloaded, we're gonna issue you a tablet. On that tablet is an application to get your dispatches electronically. In addition to that, inside that application is the ability for you to upload your documents.
In other words, you take a picture and send it to
You're
me.
gonna take a picture, that's right. So before we leave the customer, after we get offloaded, takes 2 to 3 minutes. We wanna make sure that we take a picture of the document. Now, when we take pictures of the document, we need to see all 4 corners of the document. Okay? If you send us a half a page or, they're gonna reject it. We need to see all 4 corners. In addition to that, we need to be able to read the document. So if you can't read it while you're taking the picture, we won't be able to read it when we get it on our end. Now, just keep in mind, you're responsible to make sure that we have those documents here in order for you to get paid. So these documents are money. Your outgate, ingate, any PODs, any signatures, bill of ladings, all that needs to be uploaded to the system. Takes about 2 to 3 minutes. You'll struggle at first, to get a better understanding of how the system works. But, after you get a hang of it, it should take about 2 minutes at the most, 2 to 3 minutes at the most. Okay, so make it a habit, before you pull away from the customer, that you send us that information so that we can get you paid correctly and on time. Okay. When you get to the office, during the week or whenever you're here, make sure you drop off the originals here with your dispatcher so that they can, if they, for some reason, they have to go through your paperwork and find something, they can do that without having to contact you. Okay. Any questions on that? All right. Settlement compensation. So make sure you're auditing your settlements weekly. We do make mistakes. Just full disclosure. We're gonna make mistakes. Okay. So we're not immune to making mistakes. Okay. Make sure you're reviewing your settlements. Make sure everything's legit and correct. If for some reason there's an issue, bring it to our attention so that we can make it right. It's important that your check be right, just like ours. So, you got to hold us accountable because we're definitely going to hold you accountable. Okay.
So what day is settlement? They do?
They don't typically send it out in advance so that you kind of review your settlement before the check is cut. Okay. So that's your opportunity there to make sure that your check is right.
I try to see, what if I start working this Monday, next Monday, then what is the last day for the settlement?
The settlement is, I'm not sure I understand your question. What is the last
Like,
day
what
for the
if
settlement?
I start working on Monday?
Okay, so it's weekly. I think the cutoff is Sunday at midnight. So your documents have to be in the system by midnight.
Okay.
Okay. It's 2 weeks in the hole here in Houston. So the first couple of weeks won't generate any income. Okay.
So 2 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a long time in 2 weeks. Yeah. In other words, you gotta work 3 weeks before you can get a paycheck.
No, you work 2 weeks. You get paid on the second week.
So you work 2 weeks, and you get, I don't
So
understand.
the whole 1 week.
So you hold 1 or 2?
One.
Okay.
Okay.
Escrow. So the escrow, you're responsible to maintain an escrow of $2,500. That's $100 per week until we complete the escrow at $2,500.
And that one is given back to you when you leave?
That escrow is there for in the event that you have any accidents or incidents and there's something outstanding that's due. Okay. So if you have an accident or an incident, definitely the escrow is going to be held. That's part of your deductible to help offset some of the costs. Okay. If for some reason WW Rolling is not for you, once you return all the items that were issued to you, truck signs, truck book, permits, fuel card, Samsara devices, cameras, anything that was issued to you, it must be returned back to us. If we do not receive it within the 45 days, we will just surrender that escrow and back to the company. Okay. So make sure if for some reason it's not for you, just bring everything in and just part on good terms. Okay. To answer your question.
Mhm.
Okay, so we talked about escrow already. CSA, compliance, safety, and accountability. So you are 100% responsible for the maintenance of your vehicle. Okay, it is federal and state laws that say that you have to maintain your tractor in safe operating condition at all times. Okay. In addition to that, you are to perform a proper pre-trip inspection and identify issues that could be a hazard while we're on the roadways. Okay, so bottom line, guys, is when you're hooking up to your tractor and the trailer, it's one unit, you have to do a complete pre-tip and identify any issues. At no time are you required or authorized to take anything out of any of our terminals or anything that's not safe or roadworthy out on the roadways. Okay, it's federal law. Okay,
That's good for the tractor and trailer or just for the tractor?
it's all of it, all of it. Okay, nothing can be on the roadways unsafe. Okay, so if for some reason you find an issue on the trailer or whatever it is that you're pulling, make sure you get with your terminal manager so they can make it right. Okay, before we get on the roadways. On your tractor, again, you are required 100% responsible for the maintenance and upkeep of your tractor. We do periodic inspections. We're required to do inspections of your tractor. We do those inspections every 90 days. Okay.
Every 3 months?
You are required to make your tractor available to us for that inspection. If for some reason it's not inspected, we will send you to a shop of our choosing for that inspection. Of course, all that will be at your cost. Okay, so you can either come in here when you're asked to submit to an inspection, or you can pay to have one done. Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. For the inspection, in other words, the company don't pay for every 3 months or we have to pay for the
Yes,
inspector?
you have to pay for it. Yes,
And how much that costs?
whatever it costs.
That's funny. I mean, if you.
What is it? We have to bring the truck to inspect
Mhm.
for every 3 months.
Yes.
So whatever we need to fix and then,
I'm sorry, I understand. the
No.
question.
so they want to make sure that the truck don't need anything to fix. What is it?
Yeah, we're required to inspect your tractor every 90 days. But it's by law, it's not, it's something that we want to do. It's
Okay,
federal
then-
law requires us to inspect your tractor. Okay,
I
and
understand,
identify-
but then you have a place to go.
Hold on a second. And identify any issues that would be considered a hazard out on the roadways, okay? You're required to make the tractor available to us to inspect, okay? We will not charge you if we inspect it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I see.
If you do not make the tractor available for us to inspect, we're going to stop you and we're gonna say, take it to this shop. They're waiting for you to do an inspection and this is what it's gonna cost you to get that inspection done. So make it available to us, okay? Just
So-
like we're gonna inspect your tractor here today,
So every 3 months, you gotta come in here and make sure you get.
we'll call you. You'll get notice.
Oh,
Your
okay.
managers will let you know. We're just not gonna surprise you with it.
I understand.
Okay, so, just make it available to us. We're gonna do as close to a level 1 inspection as close without, crawling underneath the tractor. It's just another set of eyeballs to help you identify some issues that you may have missed, that need your attention, okay? So it's in our best interest, when I say ours, yours and ours, to identify those issues, get them fixed before the DOT man stops you and has you on the side of the road with a fistful of tickets and violations. Nobody wins when that happens. You don't win, we don't win, okay? So, it's just, like I said, it's another set of eyeballs. We're required by law to do that, so, just make your tractor available to us.
Okay.
All right? Any other questions?
No.
Okay. In addition to that, every month you're required to submit a report to us of the maintenance that was performed on that tractor. Okay? We have the reports here at each one of our terminals. You're free to come in here and grab a report. When you submit your report, make sure we get copies of those receipts. Okay? So we have a copy here for you as well, so you can make copies here as well. Okay? We have a basket out here in the Houston office, but each individual office has their basket there for you to submit the documents that are required. Of course, any document that you submit to us, make sure you have your truck number so that we can identify where it goes to, or, staple them all together for us. Any questions on
So
that?
that they have the list every month that we have to report.
Yes, so if you change the oil, change the tires, wipers, light bulbs, anything that you've done, perform any maintenance on that tractor needs to be on that report.
With the receipt too, or no?
Copies of the receipt, you keep the originals. Okay? Any other questions on that? That report is due on the first of every month, so after about the 10th, if we haven't received it, we're gonna stop you. Okay, hey, we need this information. So every day we send out a communication out to the terminals, telling them, hey, this driver here, here's all his credentials, and then list all the credentials, your medical card, your CDL, your annual inspection. You're required to do an annual inspection by federal law.
That's every year.
Yeah, and your registration. Okay. In addition to that, you'll have, your maintenance reports and any other documents that we need so that we can be compliant on that report. They're going to be telling you, hey, you need these documents, your medical card expires on this date, and you need, find some time to go get it done before the end of the date. The reason we do that is so that, if you don't have to stop, if for some reason it's a slow day and, or you come in early from a run, you got a couple hours, that, you can go take care of that, you go and do that so that we continue moving, okay? If you just wanna take the day off, just work that out with your terminal managers, and they will, make sure that we get those, but we, get those documents, give you the time so that you get those documents, but we definitely need those documents in order for you to be compliant. On the medical card, CDL, registration and DOT inspection, once those documents expire, we'll shut it down. Okay? Legally, we cannot keep you on the road. You can't be on the road in a commercial vehicle. So if you let your medical card expire and you're driving around in your tractor, taking it to the shop and whatnot, you get stopped by the DOT, man. That's gonna be a violation that goes against
Yeah,
the
but
CSA.
medical cards automatic going to the DPS. no
I got
matter
that part. I got that part.
Yeah.
But you have to have it done before the expiration date.
Yeah.
You cannot legally drive a commercial vehicle without any one of those 4 documents,
Mhm.
okay? Any other questions? Okay. Again, the medical card, make sure that, that is registered with whatever state that you're working out of. In this particular case, it's gonna be Texas. The new regulation just kicked in where the medical card now is sent to the state on its own, but we're gonna check it before we're gonna check it to make sure it's registered before we put you back on the road. If it's not, we can't put you back on the road.
That's fine.
If we allow you to go out on the road and it hadn't been registered with the state of Texas, and the DOT man has stopped you, when he checks it, he says you don't have a valid medical card and you shouldn't be here.
I happened to be in a company I work for. This company, they sent me to work and they don't have no insurance and I don't know. And I got a ticket
Okay.
for stupid insurance and it was not my fault, it was the company fault because they don't have insurance. It was not my truck, it was company truck.
All right, so we are subject to random drug and alcohol testing. So you will be required to submit to a urinalysis and drug and alcohol testing, okay? When you are notified that you have been selected to do a random drug or alcohol test, you'll have 2 hours to report to the drug testing facility, okay? Once you get to the testing facility, you cannot leave until you give them a specimen or you actually complete the test, okay? If you leave there before completing the test or refuse or don't show up at all, that is now considered a refusal to test, and we will terminate the agreement. That information is sent to the National Clearinghouse by the clinic, okay? And you will be required then afterward to enter it into a substance abuse program, okay? And you must complete that program. It's a year-long program. You must complete that program and get your certificate, okay? And if you do not, the new regulation also that went into effect in November also states that if you do not complete that program, your CDL will be surrendered. They will take that CDL from you. Okay? So I understand it's never a good time to go do a random, especially if we got things going on at the house and whatnot. Unfortunately, once you're notified, you're notified. You have to be there. Okay? All right. Any questions on that? Okay? You are required by law to operate your commercial vehicle in a safe and legal manner. No speeding, no unsafe lane changes, following too close, no having your cell phone in your hand. None of that. Those are considered unsafe acts, and we will definitely a big no-no for us here at WW Rolling. Okay. Any questions on that?
No.
Okay, roadworthy and maintenance of your tractor. So we touched on that briefly, so we'll go a little bit more into that here. So just remember, one thing, all of the documents that you generate as a professional truck driver are legal documents, and they will be discovered for the attorneys if for some reason we're involved in an accident or an incident where we're being sued, okay? So when you complete these forms, make sure that they're 100% accurate and true, and you have supporting documents to support everything that you're saying on these documents. Okay? So again, you're required to maintain your tractor in safe operating conditions. We're going to submit to our monthly maintenance report. We're going to conduct our pre-trip inspections, thorough pre-trip inspections. Okay? And we will inspect your tractor at minimum of every 90 days. Now, we do random inspections, so it doesn't have to be every 90 days. We do, we won't, hey, we need to see this truck here today for an inspection. Okay. And so again, it's just to make sure that we don't negatively impact our CSA score. Whenever you get stopped by the DOT officer and they give you a violation, that's going to affect your CSA score. Okay. Now that you're contracted with us, it affects our CSA score as a company as well. So no, like I said, no one wins. So every time we get stopped, we want to make sure that we're ready for that inspection and that we pass those inspections. Okay. Again, so this is your responsibility to maintain your tractor in safe operating condition at all times. Can't stress that enough. We will provide you with an electronic logging device. It is a federal and state law that you have electronic logs, so there is no paper logs. Paper logs are illegal for you to be running on paper logs, okay? On those electronic logs, you are 100% responsible for the accuracy of those logs, okay? So bottom line is you have 11 hours to drive, 3 hours to work. From the time you open that clock, when the time you start that logbook, you got 11 hours, you have 14 hours to do what you got to do for the day. Okay. So what that means for us as professional truck drivers is you have to have proper trip planning. Okay. So when you get your dispatch, let's say you're going from here to Laredo. Okay. We know that you're not going to make it back. Just say, man, it's impossible to make it back without breaking a law or two. Okay. So make sure that your tractor is well equipped with with food, water, whatever it is that you need to be comfortable because you're gonna lay over somewhere. Okay. Whenever uh, whenever you have an issue, now there are some spots in certain areas where there's no cell tower and you'll have some issues. So we have an ELD department that's going to help you with that. So and you'll have that information at your disposal. So that you can reach out to them for assistance. Now, again, you're 100% responsible for the accuracy of those logs. Okay. Our EOD department is monitoring your activity. Okay. And they will reach out to you if they see something or a potential issue that may show up on your ELD. So the purpose of that is to make sure, one, is we keep you compliant. Two is if, we see something before you do, because you're driving, obviously you're not gonna be eyeballing it all day long. They're gonna reach out to you and say, hey, you have a problem here, let me help you get it fixed before DOT finds it. Once you get stopped by the DOT man and they find it, it's game over, we're done, okay, no winners again. So so make sure, again, if you see it before we do, to make that, you reach out to those guys and they will be more than happy to help you, okay? Any questions on the ELD? Okay. This talks more about the ELD. Okay. Crashes, accidents, and incidents. So, if for some reason we're involved in an accident, there's an accident kit in your packet that you're going to receive before we get on the road. Okay, make sure we get the information that we're needing from the accident. Who's involved, what's involved, the 5 Ws: who, what, when, where, and why. Okay, and make sure you take good, accurate notes. Okay. Um, we're also gonna need some photos, okay? So when you're taking your photos, we need photos of the accident scene itself, okay? So when you're taking photos of the accident scene, let's say this is your rig here, you're connected, and this is another vehicle that you were involved in a situation with. When I say I need photos of the accident scene, I'm not just talking about your vehicle, your damages to your vehicle. I need photos of the accident scene, everything. So take 50 steps back and a minimum of 4 photos, if you can get them for me. If you can stand on this corner, take a photo of that, because here I can see these two right here, these two sides. We'll go around the back of the vehicle, stand on this corner, 50 feet back, I can see this. Same thing over here, same thing over here. And then we can get up close, VIN numbers, license plate, people that are, running around. Because here, with just those 4 pictures, if you're able to swing that, I can see everything around there. Okay? So good photos, and get as much documentation and evidence that you can, because unfortunately we will be sued. It's the name of the game, right? So we need some information to be able to defend ourselves when we get into the courtroom, or try to eliminate being in the courtroom at all together. If you have cameras, definitely, it's worth the investment. If you do not, but yeah, we'll need the information, from the cameras as well. Any questions on that?
You're talking about cameras. Do you prevent the cameras?
We provide the cameras if for some reason we find you to be a risky driver. We try to help our drivers modify behavior. A camera is one of the ways that we do that. So if the camera is not helping us modify the behavior, so there's not much we can do to help you. I mean, it's just it's a mindset. So we do everything we can, to make sure that, we make you a well-rounded driver, a safe driver, a professional driver. So again, it's all up to the individual. Any other questions on that? That's my mouse there. If you do pass a DOT inspection, make sure that you submit all roadside inspections to the safety office within 24 hours of receiving it. Okay, so if the DOT man places you out of service, you're out of service. Nothing I can do to help you until we follow our processes to get you back online. Okay, so if the DOT officer puts you out of service, one is you cannot receive another dispatch. 2, you have to fix your issue. 3, you have to get a new DOT inspection. 4, we're going to inspect your vehicle. fine, and then I have to sign off on it and send it back to the state that gave you the violations or placed you out of service. Okay, so it's not an easy process. It's to keep us in compliant. The best way to do that is to prevent all that, do routine maintenance, proper pre-trip inspections, identify the issues before the DOT officer finds them and places you out of service. If you pass the inspection, a level 1 inspection will bonus you $300. A level 2 will bonus you $250. A level 1 will bonus you $100. Okay, so submit that to us and we'll get you paid. Any questions before we move over to the charges on the insurances and whatnot? No. Okay, so you will be issued a ComData fuel card. That ComData fuel card is good at our network, which would be Love's, Pilot, Flying J's, TA, and Petro. Okay, when you go to those fuel stations, you have $700 per day to fuel. Okay, if for some reason you're at the pump, and let's say you're at the passenger side, pumping your fuel, right? You normally you hook up on the driver's side and you walk around, hook up on the passenger side, and you got both pumps running. If for some reason the pump shuts off, okay, the pump will not start up again for you. Okay, you'll have to move to another truck stop if you need to finish fueling. It's a safety feature that's built into the ComData card that it will not allow you to pump twice at the same fuel station within 24 hours. Okay, it'll work at another station, but not that one. Okay,
And that's the only gas station you can go to, Petro and Fly J or whatever you say.
okay. So our network is Love's, Pilot, Flying J's, TA, and Petro. Okay, that's where you're going to get a discount. That's where I was going with that. Okay, so on average, we're doing anywhere from 20 to 50 cents off per gallon. Just depends on where you're at in the country. Okay. Love's, Pilot, Flying J's, TA, and Petro, those where you're going to get our discounted fuel price. So if for some reason, let's say for an example, you stop at a Love's and it's advertising $3 per gallon for diesel fuel. Just know that you're not paying $3 per gallon. Okay, your fuel's going to be discounted. It'll show on your settlement every Friday. You don't get the discount there at the pump. You get it on your settlement.
Even like, for example, $3.50, but not that price.
Yes, it'll be discounted.
There's no way you can get anywhere else like it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go ahead. Finish your question.
I mean, you're talking about instead of go to Flying Jane or whatever, one of the big.
Wherever they accept the ComData card, you're free to use the ComData card. You just won't get our discount.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
This
Because,
is, go ahead.
because I know a gas station, they're only $2.80 a gallon, maybe less.
Okay.
You go to Flying J, it's $3.50.
Okay. So just to make sure that we're clear, you don't pay that price that they're advertising. You get a discount and it's on your settlement on Fridays. Okay. So when we compare, drivers come in here, I get my fuel at Time Wise, I'm paying $2.80. Well, then I pulled somebody's settlement that was at the Love's truck stop on the other side of Time Wise, or what is that up in Dallas, 45. I'm just using them as an example. And that same driver, same day, it's $2.70 a gallon. So who won? Okay. I'm not telling you. You're free to fuel wherever it is you want to fuel at, okay?
So you don't get discount.
You don't get the discount. You want a discount? Love's, Pilot, Flying J, TA, and Petro.
To me, it's like if I go to Flying J, it's $3.50. If I go to any other truck stop and I pay $2.80, I mean, you're talking 70 cents less right there.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
You're free to fuel wherever it is you want. As
Oh.
long as they accept the ComData card, you're free to fuel. If they don't accept the ComData card, make sure you have your American Express ready so that you can pay for your fuel. Okay? So it has happened. It has happened where a driver's gone to, wherever he's gonna fuel.
But the way I understand.
Hold on a second, let me finish this. driver goes to another gas station because he doesn't, he's looking for the cheap fuel. And he goes in there, hey, do you accept this card? Yes, I accept the card. They turn the pump on for him. He fills up, goes back into the pay. No, we don't take that card. I thought it was another card. And so he didn't have a way to pay for his fuel. So my point is, you're free to fuel wherever it is you want to fuel at. If you're not going to fuel in our network, then make sure you have another way of paying for the fuel, because there's some places that will not take that card.
Yeah, well, the first thing when you go to get gas or diesel, you go to the front desk and then ask for if you take the card or not. And they will tell you yes or no.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Just make sure that
The way I understand you is, you're saying if you get a discount, if you get into the big truck stop, like Flying J or whatever those big truck stops are. But if you go to a regular gas station, it's cheap to buy fuel, you don't get discount.
Right.
You can get fuel, but you don't get discount.
if they accept the card.
They will accept the car.
Okay.
Yeah, but I understand.
So whenever you use our Comdata card, just know that the Comdata is going to charge you $2.50 for every time you swipe that card. It is a Comdata fee that they're going to charge you. That card is a MasterCard. Just know it's a MasterCard. Okay, it's like a regular credit card. Okay, you are 100% responsible for all the charges on that card. Okay, the only thing that you can purchase with this card is fuel. Can't purchase anything else.
And with you and the what do you call the other stuff?
Fuel.
No.
The only thing that you can purchase is fuel.
I know, I understand, but if they try to use two things, fuel and then what do you call the other thing there? That thing they use now, I don't know what you call this thing. They buy and they pump the same thing. You can buy the diesel and the What do you call that?
Yeah.
That.
Okay.
Can you buy that and
The
diesel?
only thing that you can purchase with the fuel card is fuel.
Not that.
No. Only fuel.
What year you shop?
No, mine is okay. It's 2014, but okay, I understand.
Okay. So, any other questions on the fuel?
No.
Of course.
Okay. So, on the cargo liability, I'm sorry, I skipped one. If you have our plates, it's gonna run you $45 per week $45 per week, for the use of our plates until you turn them in. Okay.
If you got your own plate, you don't get that, right? No, I got my own plate.
Cargo liability, cargo liability is $8 per week. Cargo liability insures the freight only. So, if for some reason the freight is damaged and they file a claim on us because the freight was damaged, this depends on the situation, whether we're gonna accept or reject the claim. So if we're involved in an accident and the freight is damaged, they're gonna file a claim on us, okay?
Yeah.
You're responsible for the first $2,500 of any claim. Okay, cargo, accident, physical liability, you're responsible for the first $2,500. So the cost of this cargo liability is $8 per week. And this says exactly what I just said. You're responsible for the first $2,500 of any claim. Electronic logs, you will be charged $17 per week for the use of the tablet and the electronic logs. Okay? If for some reason you damage any of the equipment, to replace the equipment, it's going to charge you $250. So basically what we do is we charge it to the escrow. And then you can just replenish your escrow, $100 at a time instead of hitting you all at once. So it does happen. Unfortunately, it does happen that, we break a tablet or two. It does happen. I'm not gonna tell you that it doesn't. So do what you can and take proper care of it. Of course, we're gonna do everything that we can to protect it, such as screen protectors, a nice sturdy case for it and whatnot. But, in the event that you're having some issues with the tablet, that's a whole different story. Just bring it in, we'll swap it out for you at no cost to you. Okay. But if we physically damage the tablet, unfortunately, we have to buy another one and we'll have to charge it for that.
So you get a tablet too? Or you get a tablet too?
It's a Samsung tablet, yes.
Oh,
Okay. Again, this talks about the escrow, $2,500 or $100 per week. Fuel tax, we'll have to report all of the mileage and the fuel that was purchased, to, the IRS. They're gonna charge you $5 per week for the reporting of the fuel. Okay, regardless of whether you have combination or whether you have a portion plates, the cost is the same, you still have to report.
I got a combination only, I don't have a portion.
Regardless, we still have to report it.
This is on accidents or incidents.
Uh,
You say you have to report
fuel,
fuel.
I'm
Okay.
sorry. IFTA, I'm sorry, we're in the IFTA portion. We're in the chargebacks section. So non-trucking liability is in the event you are moving your tractor and we have an incident where we damage some property and you are not under dispatch. You know, say for instance, you're moving around, you're taking your truck to the shop on a Saturday and you know, you have an accident. This is the insurance this is the liability insurance that's going to cover the property that was damaged, okay? This insurance is $7.50 per week. Okay. Occupational accident insurance is insurance in the event that you get injured while you're working, okay? So, let's say you got dispatch, you're getting loaded or unloaded, and, you're coming off your tractor and you miss a step and you slip, fall down, you hurt yourself. This is the insurance that's gonna help you get back on your feet, okay? Pay some medical bills, prescriptions and therapies and whatnot. This is similar to workman's comp insurance, but it's not workman's comp. You are not an employee. You are an independent contractor. Okay, so it's called occupational accident insurance. It also has some other benefits such as loss of a limb or some death benefits and whatnot, which we did have a driver unfortunately passed away not too long ago. And so the death benefit kicked in for the family there.
So it's almost like a little bit like Aflac.
It's similar to workman's comp.
Yes.
I'm not too familiar with that fact, but you will receive a policy in the mail.
Mhm.
That's gonna give it to you in detail, okay? That policy is gonna come from True North, okay? It's gonna cover all of the insurances that you purchased here, okay? Make sure you hang on to that policy. It's gonna, in a nice blue folder, it's gonna say True North Thursday. That's your policy, okay?
And how much that goes for?
Make sure you hang on to that policy. This occupational accident insurance is $30 per week.
$30 per week.
Yes. Physical damage insurance protects your tractor. Okay, in the event that it gets damaged, in an accident or incident or a tree falls on it or whatnot, this protects your tractor, okay? This is an optional insurance for you to purchase here through us or not, okay? You can have your own policy, you cannot have it, or you cannot have physical damage at all, okay? Strictly optional, okay? If you want to compare the cost, just get one of the ladies and they will give you the information based on the value of the tractor, okay? And so, it's here for you if you need it, that's what I'm saying, okay? Liability insurance is the insurance that, they make the signs for. You've seen the ads and the billboards and the commercials. If you got hit by a big truck, this is the policy that they're after, okay? So in the event that you're involved in an accident or incident, this is what they're looking to collect on. It's $1 million policy. That policy runs you $120 per week.
100 what?
120 per week.
So you're talking 1, 2, 3, $480 a month.
Any questions about any of the insurances that we discussed here today?
No,
Any questions on any of the information that was provided to you here today on the agreement? Of course, you're going to receive a copy of everything that you sign. And you're responsible to make sure that you thoroughly read through the information and understand it. If for some reason you have questions, just feel free to come on in here or give us a call and we'll go over it with you in detail. Okay. Okay, so you will be offered a $3,000 sign-on bonus. I have to say a couple things here. So this bonus is optional. You don't have to accept it. Okay. We'll still treat you the same as if you did. In addition to that, we don't consider this to be free money. You will have to earn this money. Okay. The third thing is this is not for drivers who are driving other people's vehicles. For instance, in order to collect on this money, you have to be the owner. You have to drive the tractor. Okay, so if you bring on a driver to drive your second truck, this bonus will not be offered to him or you. Okay, owner operator. Okay, any questions on that so far? Okay. So the way this pays out, it pays out $1,500 after the first 30 days of work performed. Okay. After the 90 days of work performed, it pays the remainder of the $1,500. Okay. You must be an independent contractor. Drivers that are driving for independent contractors are not eligible for this payout. Okay. All right. So in order for you to qualify to receive this bonus, there's three things that need to happen. One is there's 20 working days in a month. Okay. You have to be available for dispatch 75% of those times. Okay. In addition to that, you have to be in good standing with your dispatchers and whatnot. Make sure that you're turning in your paperwork to them, and make sure that we're following their processes and whatnot. Okay. The third thing is you have to be in good standing with safety. So you cannot negatively impact our CSA score on roadside inspections. Any hours of service violations, any vehicle maintenance violations, any unsafe driving violations, we will stop that bonus immediately. Okay. In addition to that, you have to make sure that you turning in your monthly maintenance reports and all the documents that are required for us to have here to remain in compliance. You have to be submitted to us. Okay. If you're able to do all of that, no problems, we'll pay it out. I think you already collected some of that, right? Not that difficult to win. So this is how you earn that. Okay. Again, this is optional. You'll sign off that you understand and that you're in agreement with that. If you don't want it, just put on there that you refuse, and we won't hold you accountable to that. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay. Referral bonus. So we do have a referral bonus program for you. So if you have a friend or a buddy that's just as good as you or better, and they're looking for a place to go, and you mention our name to them, and they come and apply, make sure that they put your name on the application. Okay. It all starts with the application. Okay. Once the application is submitted and your name's not on it, there's nothing I can do to help you out with that bonus. Okay. So the way this program works, it'll pay you 2.5% of whatever they generate, per month. So, for example, if they earn $10,000 a month, okay, you get 2.5% of that, which would be about $250 every month.
And for how long?
However long he's here, you got to be active. He's got to be active. Okay. If you bring me 5 drivers, that's $250. They both doing $10,000 a month. That's $1,000 a month in bonus. Just talking about us. Okay. Now we can do what Gulf Winds does, or some of the other trucking companies around here, advertise on billboards and radio stations and whatnot, or we can offer it to you guys. we feel that you guys are a better resource for us to increase our fleet because you're here, you're experiencing it for yourself. Okay? So I do have one driver, I think right now he has five drivers that, he's referred out here, so he gets a bonus every month for each one of those drivers.
That's nice.
So it does pay out. So in order to qualify that, after, if you refer somebody, after they complete their 90 days, they gotta get their $3,000 and they complete their 90 days, then it'll start paying you. Okay? What's not included in the payout is gonna be any fuel surcharge, detention, training pay, or any bonuses and whatnot. Okay? They take all that out and just give you, what he generated for that month. Any questions on those two bonuses? Again, these are optional. You don't have to take the money if you don't wish. We'll still treat you the same as if you did. And nobody will know. Any questions? All right. The last thing that we're gonna cover here today is gonna be our permit packet. So, we're in the process of renewing our permits now. So when we do renew up our permits, we don't just hand you one permit. We'll send you a whole new packet. So you can keep it all together. You pull one out, throw it in the trash, get the new one. Make sure you keep it up to date, okay? So, on our permit, you'll have all of our information there for whoever's requiring it. So, we want all of our, law enforcement community to have a good experience with us, the WW Roland. That includes you, okay? So again, we keep it all nice and neat for you. You're responsible, make sure you're nice and neat. So if you get stopped by the DOT, man, you provide them this little packet. Electronic logs on top, CDL, medical card. Right up front, like there's nothing for you to hide. Because there shouldn't be anything for you to hide. On there, it'll have all of our information. We'll make it nice and easy peasy for him, so he won't have to be looking for it. In addition to that, it'll have the information to reach out to us in the event that he needs to give us a call. Our information is there. And also the information for our ELD department, if you have some issues with the electronic log device, these are the guys that you will reach out to. Okay. In addition to that, it's there for the trooper, if for some reason he's having some issues, you can reach out to us as well there. Okay. The last part of the page is going to be our accidents and incident hotline. If you have cargo theft, an incident or an accident, this is the number you call. You can always call here as well. But this will be our claims department. They'll gather the information they need so that we start a claim and prepare ourselves for any potential lawsuits. Okay. Any question on any of the information that we talked about here today? No question?
Of course.
We're good?
Good.
Again, the office is always open here Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 p.m. here in Houston. Other terminals will have similar working hours. After that, if you need to reach out to us, the number here for Houston is on the door here. Make sure you lock us in for the Houston office. After hours, if you need me, just reach out. That's that one number that you need to call. That way you'll have 20 different numbers to call.
How many terminals you got?
We have terminals. We have 2 of them here in Houston. This is the intermodal terminal, which is the building that you're in now. The van division is off to the left over here. Then we have terminals in San Antonio, Laredo, El Paso. We have 2 in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. One in Memphis, Tennessee. One in Nashville, Tennessee. One in Savannah, Georgia. And we're opening a terminal. It's open now in Charlottesville, South Carolina. We're also part of a group called Phoenix Management Solutions. That group consists of Genesis Intermodal, Grapevine, KTI. I forget the name of the other companies, but yeah, this is quite a few operating companies. So on any good day, we have close to 500 trucks out on the roadway.
Grapevine, they operate out of Dallas, right? I believe.
Grapevine, I believe, is in California.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I've seen quite a few trucks with Grapevine on the side of it.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they're, you know, whether they may come here, I don't know, to be honest with you. Okay. So you have a lot of help, guys, that's what I'm telling you. Reach out to your terminal managers, let them, you know, let them help you, and we're always here to help you, as here in the safety office as well. Just come in here and, you know, identify your issues and let's get it fixed before, you know, we get ourselves in trouble. Okay? Any other questions? All right. All right, so if there's no other questions, I think we're done here for today. I appreciate your time. Welcome to WW Rolling. Okay?